Yeah, there always is. But like, I fully understand with Terminator 2. Like the movie I did that with was the Superman movie, the Christopher Reeve Superman movie. So I have it on fucking DVD. I've got like a couple of copies on Blu-ray. um, let's see. Actually, yeah, there's like two different copies of it on Blu-ray, and I have it on 4K.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking crazy. Like the ones that are on Blu-ray, there's one that's like the regular version and whatnot, and then the other version is when they showed Superman on like network TV and whatnot. They actually went and filmed like extra scenes for it, so it stretched the movie out to 3 hours long. So that's the
Oh,
one that they
cool.
released. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's the one I used to watch when I was a kid, like Superman running the fucking gauntlet and fucking Luthor's lair and whatnot. Holy shit, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, most of the times that I think that I've watched that movie, it was probably when it was on TV, because like I mean, my grandfather had a copy of virtually every movie you could think of, and still does to this day.
Oh yeah.
But like, um, for the most part, like I think I watched that movie probably like you just said on TV. So I'm sure I'm probably more familiar with the longer version than I am the regular version.
Yeah, I mean, it holds a special place in my heart too, because like that was my first interaction with Superman, and that's my dad recorded that off of TV, like commercials and all. Like I think it took up
Nice.
like two tapes and whatnot, but Jesus Christ, man, he got it, and I would watch that like almost on a loop.
Yeah, I mean that's a fucking great movie, and he was just like the most perfect Superman. I don't know. I don't. Do you think that anyone has beat his Superman yet?
Um,
Christopher Reeves.
I don't know, because I mean you got to get into like two different departments. There's the live action, and then there's the voice actor, which
Oh, like cartoons.
yeah, which
Yeah.
I'll say let's leave the voice actor to the side for a second. Best live action Superman? Yeah, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know enough of the animated stuff to even comment. But like as far as the live action goes, and again, I probably haven't seen enough to comment, but I've seen a couple of different iterations of Superman played in live action. And man, in my heart of hearts, I gotta say, I think Christopher Reeve is Superman. Like when I picture what Superman looks like, I think Christopher Reeve
Yeah, I think
or Reeves. Is it Reeve or Reeves? I
Christopher
think it's
Reeve.
Reeves.
Reeve,
Yeah.
no plural.
Reeve?
Yeah,
Oh, no plural.
yeah, no plural.
But wasn't there a Chris Reeves or Reeves who was Superman?
Yeah, that
Or
was
am I
I think it was George Reeves.
George Reeves?
Yeah, that's the one that Ben Affleck actually played in Hollywoodland.
That was a great movie.
Never saw that, man. I wanted to, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's pretty good. You should check it out.
Like the newest movie I'm getting is fucking Amazon shipping me a copy. I have the Toxic Avenger coming my way.
Nice, like the old school one. Like they didn't remake it, right? It's the old version.
They are remaking it, and they almost got Kevin Smith to do it. But they're just like, yeah,
Oh,
we want to make this for like $50 million, and he's just like, no, like part of the charm of it was that it was so low budget. Like we can do this for like $10 million, if that. And they were just like, no, we're on different wavelengths. See ya.
yeah, that was like their breakthrough movie for that studio. I forget what they're called off the top of my head. I know
It's Trauma.
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 Yeah, I know. What's his name there? AVGN is a big fan of theirs.
Yeah,
Uh,
Lloyd Kaufman was actually in one of his videos too.
yeah, I was gonna say he interviewed Lloyd at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah, they were reviewing Toxic Avenger games, and good God, those games sucked.
Oh man, yeah, they were pretty terrible. They had action figures though for Toxic Avenger, which was weird because like they did a cartoon version of Toxic Avenger, which is weird enough.
Yeah,
And then they
Toxic
had
Crusader.
Toxic Avenger toys.
Yeah, I mean they made it into a cartoon. It was the Toxic Crusaders. I remember watching that when I was a kid. I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool. All right,
Yeah, I
not
think that was
knowing that
probably
hey,
my
there's
first
this
exposure.
hard R-rated movie where kids are getting their heads run over by a fucking car.
It's sort of like what was that Peter Jackson movie you told me about
Oh
with the
God, Dead Alive.
Dead Alive with the zombie baby or whatever it is?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Oh my God.
that
Did
is
wait did
classic.
wait did I let you borrow that so you could watch it?
I think so. Yeah, because it's a
All right.
pretty gory movie if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of those that I watched when Liz was not around.
You're like, there's no way she's liking this.
No, no. Although we've come to realize that like her real aversion to horror movies is usually gore, and
Yeah.
she associates gore with like Saw type of movies. And I was like, well, listen, like before Saw came along, it really wasn't like that gory, that realistically gory. Before that, it was kind of cartoonishly gory.
Yeah, I mean there's like a couple different kinds of gory. There's like, the hardcore like gory, which is almost like Hostel or Saw or fucking Strangeland. But then you have
Yeah.
like the goofy like cartoon like over the top gore where it's like, Friday the 13th or Dead Alive or just something shit like that where it's like it's so gory but it's fucking goofy.
Yeah. Or like things like explode and like it's sort of like you're playing a game and you crit on something and the thing just explodes into a bunch of gibs. It's like it's that kind of shit. You're like, okay, that you can just kind of laugh that off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the whole thing is just it's a laughable fucking movie, but it's one of those things where it's almost like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, for example. Like
Yeah.
it's not a good movie, but it's enjoyable at least.
Well, that's the thing. I really think like a lot of people get hung up on how good a movie is, but really, what's the point of any movie? Is it's to entertain you? You know,
Exactly.
does it entertain you? That's really the only criteria it needs to fill.
Yeah, exactly. Like Evil Dead 2, for example. That's, goofy, over the top, gory fun. It's just is it a good movie? No. It's a fucking bad movie, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's fuck. Like not everything has to be like, oh my god, this thing is a masterpiece, blah blah blah, because you can make arguments for pretty much anything to be a masterpiece. Like fucking Toxic Avenger could be made an argument for like that's Lloyd Kaufman's masterpiece. But
Yeah.
then again, there's other fans of of his that would be like, oh no, it's got to be Return to Nukem High, or it's got to be Poultrygeist or something like that. So I mean, really, you can make an argument for like any of those, really.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I was never a fan, honestly, of Poltergeist. Now that you mentioned that one, I don't know. How do you feel about Poltergeist?
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
I said Poultrygeist, like
Oh,
meaning chickens.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, like they did like a whole like zombie chickens in a fast food restaurant thing. It was kind of funny.
Oh, geez, I've never seen it. It sounds sort of similar to what was that other movie you showed us? Drive Through.
Yeah, Drive Through. Holy shit. Yeah.
With the clown.
Again, bad movie, but it's entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty cookie cutter plot and kind of like a stab, it's a typical stabby movie, but
Yeah.
but it's entertaining as hell because it's a fucking killer clown, but not like Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, well, what if Ronald McDonald went fucking nuts? Okay, here you go.
Much. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just saw because there was a lot, and maybe there was just too much hype around it, but I mean that can definitely happen too, where a movie gets a lot of hype and it doesn't deserve it. But I watched No Country for Old Men. Did you ever see that flick?
Never saw that.
I gotta say, like, people are like, oh man, that's like the Coen Brothers' best movie. I disagree. I really I mean I didn't even really think it was that good, honestly. I mean, it was kind of, I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was just not as good as their other flicks. But people are like, that's a masterpiece. I'm like, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. They're entitled to theirs. If they fucking enjoy it, great. If not, okay, they can find something else that they enjoy.
I'd be curious to see what you think of it because you're pretty familiar with the Coen Brothers shit, right?
Not really. Like I think the only like Coen Brothers thing that I remember seeing was The Big Lebowski. Like I never saw Fargo. I never saw Old Country or No Country for Old Men. I haven't seen a lot of their work, so I can't really say. I wouldn't be a fair judge for that.
They got some pretty good stuff like Barton Fink and what's it called? Their Fargo. Those are some classics right there.
Yeah, I never saw Fargo.
They've done a lot of shit. They did Oh Brother Where Art Thou, so if you've seen that,
Never
that's
saw
another
that.
one of theirs.
Never saw that, but I just could not escape that fucking soundtrack when that came out, man.
It was popular as shit, man. Even I like that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was popular shit. I mean, you had the same, you had Tom Petty and a whole bunch of other guys in the same fucking band. It's like, holy shit, fucking, there you go, man. All right, I got you. But just no matter, like, even though it was a good song, it's just like, it was one of those things that got so overplayed. I was just like, you know what, man, fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, even good shit, when it gets overplayed, just, you tune out.
Yeah. But
Oh, man. So what have you been up to lately, sir?
I told you earlier, man, just been working and playing Spider-Man.
Working and playing Spider-Man? Fucking A. Man, if only they released that old school, like we talked about before, that old school kind of bringing it back to Superman too. That old school Superman arcade game, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the only way you can play that now is if you download like an emulator online, and then you can download the game and you can play it that way. But I mean, like I know you can buy like stand-up arcade cabinets that are like the original like Superman one, which if I fucking won like Powerball or Mega Millions and I had fuck you money, fuck yeah, I'd be moving into a fucking like a giant loft with that thing fucking on.
Have you seen, like, I don't know what company it is, but some company started releasing like these little mini arcade
Oh yeah,
cabinets.
the was it Arcade Up or One Up or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, One Up Arcade.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's to me that's a waste of money because like I don't know what they're costing around your area, but I've seen them going for about $300.
Yeah, that's about what I'm hearing too, and I
And
agree. It's a waste of money
yeah,
for
and
sure.
like from the bottom, like from the floor, it goes up to about like mid chest level for me. Like you know how fucking tall I am and whatnot.
Yeah,
So it comes up to there, and you can buy like I think it's like for an additional like $30, you can get a riser that lifts it up like another foot or something like that. And I'm like, no. And I mean, not only
yeah,
that, but like it only comes with like 3 or 4 games, depending on which games that come with it. Like the Street Fighter one has like 3 different versions of Street Fighter 2. It's like, we have PlayStation, we have all of these. Like we're good, man.
yeah. I mean, if you really want the experience of playing it on the arcade system, just go to some local arcade because they probably have it.
Yeah,
You know?
I know there's like a like an arcade bar or something like that in Providence or something like that. Chances are they have it. If I want to go play it in the arcade, I'll just do that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to go the illegal route, you could just get like a Raspberry Pi or something and use the ROMs and just have one arcade machine that plays literally everything, which would be awesome, but obviously illegal.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, going the legal route, just yeah, I mean, yeah, find a local place that local arcade, and I mean, we actually have a pretty awesome place near us that Liz's friend had her birthday at, I think like last year or the year before. It's called A4Cade, and it's basically like a bar, but instead of just like a regular bar, they have a shitload. It's like an arcade in a bar.
Huh.
And it's like it's a speakeasy too. So like you go into like this place that serves grilled cheese, and you have to go through like this secret entrance to get to A4Cade, and it's like this bar. You can walk around with your drink and play all these games and shit. It's pretty fucking cool. They even have like a Wii or something set up at the bar itself, so you can sit at the bar and play, or you can walk around to all the different like stand-up machines and shit that they have, or they have a table that's a four-way Pac-Man arcade, Pac-Man system, which is pretty cool.
Damn, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, man, we should check it out like sometime that you're in the area. And I mean, I know you don't drink, so you don't give a shit about that part. But it's basically like a barcade.
Regardless, man, like I'll still fucking show up there and chow the shit out of a fucking grilled cheese.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You could get. I mean, I've never had their grilled cheese, but I'm sure they're good.
Dude, how difficult is it to screw up a fucking grilled cheese?
Not that hard. You just burn it or something.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, man. Definitely, we definitely got to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like, let's talk about that blog he started, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just
Fucking
kind of
throw that
started
out.
kind of like at random.
So yeah, so like, what inspired you to start doing that blog?
Well, basically, I'm sitting here and I'm 35 years old. I'm in sort of like a dead end job and shit, and then I got let go from that job, and I'm like, like what should I do? Because like I've been kind of jumping from dead end job to dead end job for most of my life. I don't really have what you could call a career. I went to school, but I'm not using anything that I went to school for. So I'm like, I really need something. And I mean, as much as, I mean, we talked about like, doing a movie or something like that. And as much as I'd love to pursue something like that, let's be honest, it's not a realistic expectation for a career. So basically, I was at kind of a crossroads where I'm like, all right, what the fuck do I want to do? And this is actually a good time to be thinking about like, what am I interested in? What can I make into a career? What am I good at? And, sort of doing the Venn diagram and putting it all together. But meanwhile, the blog is also kind of selfishly a way for me to get a writing portfolio together. So I can just sort of go online, put together a journal entry or a review or whatever I want to write about and put that up there. And hey, maybe I can get writing jobs with that. So, I could pursue that avenue if I'm interested in that. But it's just sort of something to do, weekly to just throw up some content and, tell the people at large about the city that I live in. And honestly, I have a soft spot in my heart for Lowell. So to write about it is actually pretty fun for me and something I actually enjoy. So there's a lot that went into it, but it was really just being at a crossroads and being like, where the fuck do I want to go? Where am I at? Let's just explore some shit. That's kind of the idea behind it.
Yeah, you're not walking around with like a little monkey called Boots, right?
No, I have no backpack.
Brucey the Explorer.
Yeah. But Bruce. So yeah, no, none of that. But no, it's just sort of like when I see something, and Liz, she takes pictures of anything and everything. I was like, hey man, you could be like my photographer, and I can just write the copy and shit. And when I want to review Little Burger Company. I could just grab your photos and write what I want to write about Little Burger Company. And if I want to just, do a review